Welcome to Business Doctor. Today we are going to discuss about the teams in the organization. You would have heard about this term teams in many contexts. People talk a lot about teamwork, and the importance of team in so many ways at different levels, at different points in time, in a project delivery or in a team organization or from a business context. And it has become so popular that people started misusing the word team for everything else. We will discuss about a few scenarios in the way the teams are formed. For example, we know a music orchestra. There are a set of violinists, there is a set of pianists, set of drums, guitarist, and then there is one person who sings. And maybe there are some set of people who do the chorus or background humming. This is also a team. Or one person can do like one singer, one musician, like one violinist, one drummer, one piano, like that, or one guitarist. This is one example. There is another example like sports, where we have basketball, football, cricket. Everything also has got a team. Coco, for example, that's a team in a different sense. Military, army or air force, navy, they also work as a team. In athletics, there is a relay. If you know athletics, there is a event called relay. There, one person has to give some baton to somebody else who runs for, say, 100 meters or 400 meters, like that. So there is a relay where it involves at least four people, and it also competes with other teams at a given time. There is also a team like in the healthcare. You go to a surgeon, you will have there is a surgeon, and there are a lot of other doctors who help him in a surgery, and there are a set of nurses and support staff. They also form a team. You in a banking sense, if you look at the collection agents, there they work as a team. They go individually to different organizations or households or individuals. They collect and report back. In a vehicle mechanics, there are service agents who does that. They know how to do the service or repair. Or also we have departmental functions like human resource or finance, etc. They also work as a team. Another point to think at is like, suppose a manager says that, okay, you guys, say five guys, come as a team and take water from one place to another place, say from the lake or a well to a tank, a domestic tank. So these five people carry water and take it from lake and pour it into the overhead tank, for example. Now, if suppose somebody has to ask who is responsible or who performed well in filling up the tank, actually all the five people have picked up water and they poured it to the tank. So this is also a kind of teamwork. So if you really look at these examples, broadly we can classify the team's purpose. Okay. The purpose could be on an activity. It could be a regular or routine. For example, in a production shop, the The person who is doing the lathe work or drilling or any machining work, they will be all grouped together to complete that particular item or the production of that item. If you look at accounts, a set of people who will be doing that work, whatever is the accounting or accounting entries they will be doing. Data entry example, data entry job, people do that on a repeated thing, like a medical coding, for example. They have a specific purpose, they will do that activity, that's it. Sometimes this work could be a one-off activity, like where it is a disaster recovery. Suppose there is a recovery team coming in, they come for a purpose, complete and go. Or it could be a routine activity from a departmentalization point of view or the function point of view. The organization needs a human resource function, so all the activities related to human resource are done by that department or the function, and the people associated will act as a team to complete that functional department activities. Or it could be based on a project, like I form a project, like it could be a construction or it could be a software delivery. So I form a group of people like these violinists or guitarists and pianists. Like that, I will get people on board and then form a project team, then do that. It could be even cross-functional, like one person from HR, one person from delivery, person from manufacturing or production, or in case of a software development, it's a coding, and a couple of people from testing. So it could be a cross-functional team also. Or it could be based on a permanency. If it is a routine job, then it will be a permanent team, or if it is a one-off job, it will be a temporary team. The other category, for example, is that based on the time or event. Like as I said, the task force is based on a event or for a particular time. Like when there is a flooding, so there is a task force which will come and do that helping work. That is for a particular period of time, but triggered on an event. The other one is like the musician or orchestration done by the musician in a stage, for example, or he is preparing an album. There, it is based on a particular event. The other kind of classification could be based on outcomes. When you do that, for example, coding, so you are expected to produce some outcomes, which means that this team works in tandem in a total business sense. So there will be somebody who does that before and who is going to receive this team's output to, say for example, testing. There's another team which is going to take this as an input. There is a documentation team, for example. So this is based on the outcome, and this could be an ongoing one, or it could be routine, or there is no success or failure except that you have to produce an outcome. The other type of outcome is based on zero-sum games. Like I play football, so team A and team B plays football. So either team A wins or team B wins. So the outcome is success or failure, or you are through to the next stage or not. So how you form these teams is basically from the purpose point of view. As part of your planning, that's what we are discussing here now. As part of the planning, we need to have the purpose in mind for that activity or the sub-activity or task, whatever level it is. So the team has to effectively fulfill the requirements of that purpose of that planning item. Suppose you take a simple Venn diagram as you would have studied in a mathematics class. So there are circles, like there is one circle here or there is one circle there. So this can be isolated circles. You can group them together and perform. Or there could be two circles overlapping each other. So there will be some common element between team or between the members of the team, either in terms of skill set or knowledge or whatever it is. Okay, or it could be a staggered team, like a set of musicians, like violinist one set, there is another set of violinist. This is for doing some project A work, and this is for doing project B work. So you can group this based on the needs of the organization. And the work is, again, the question is whether it is a repeated work or is a specific work. So you have to think about, when you are forming the team or whether you are going to be part of the team, there are some patterns which we will discuss down the line in this session. There are ideas about patterns, and you have to see how these teams perform over a period of time. That's where the patterns get formed, and based on that patterns, the teams can be effectively created, monitored, and maybe if required, administered correctly. So there are people who, because they don't know how to create this team in the first place, what they do is that they form the team, then over a period of a few months or a few years, they change the team for the same purpose, and they call it as a reorganization or repurposing the whole stuff. So there will be a lot of chaos. Again, the change management principles will get into being. So it will create a lot of chaos and commotions and anxiety among the people involved. So if you know the purpose correctly, then it is very easy to form the team. So effectively, the team is a relatively small number of people. It could be 10, 15, something. It is not thousands and thousands. Okay, it could be a small number of people with complementary skills, preferably, or supplementary skills depending upon the purpose, who are committed to common purpose. The team should have a purpose, and that purpose should have a linkage back to the plan and should have a common performance goal as a team. And this is an approach for which they hold themselves mutually accountable. Every individual has to be accountable for the team's performance, not only their performance, that includes the team performance also. So what is common across all these teams? First is the purpose. And remember, the team, not only the team members, which is you and me and everybody in the organization, the purpose is to solve a business problem. If the team is not going to solve that business problem, then it is going to be a chaos in the organization. So the organization needs a team basically to solve the one or more of the business problem. And if we know how these problem areas flows, then the teams can be formed in line with the way the business flows or the expected problems of the business flows. So which means that it is going to produce the common outcome at every team level and at the organization level. And you are going to join an organization, or you are already there in an organization as part of a team, or you are going to move from team A to team B within the organization or outside of the organization, or within the department and outside of the department. Wherever you are, the person who created the team as well as you should know why you are there. That means you should know what problem the team is expected to solve. So if you look at the team, wherever you are joined, either they will have a common set of goals for the team, or they may be doing a common set of activities. Say, for example, the common activity could be research and development. So they will do the research work, which is a separate function by itself. So people will get grouped. Or it could be a common goal, like as an organization, if you are a CEO, to down the level to whatever the lowest levels in that organization are. So across the organization structure or hierarchy, you will have a goal which cascades to the company's goal or organizational goal. So how to fulfill the purpose? The purpose is to, the focus of work is going to help you to achieve that purpose. Okay, which means that you should know why you are there in the business, what is the business problem, and whether you have the attitude, and the skills and knowledge and whatever it is required to solve the problem. Which means that it has to be either correct, then it has to be at a quicker rate. You should be in a position to solve it. Uh, and the third thing is the repeatability. We discussed this in the earlier videos. So whatever you are going to solve, it has to be done in some units. Okay, if you are doing a software development, probably you will do one unit of work which might be a few screens or one functionality. If you are in a manufacturing, it could be one component, or if it is a say particular activity based, then it could be number of components you produce in a day, something like that. So the unit of work is what is going to give you the outcome, which is going to fulfill the purpose of the team. So there is also a catch here. You can also think that now if the team can do or has to have, anyone can do any job for that matter. That means I am going to have a pool of resources who are equally competent enough to complete the expected outcome of the team. That means based on some rules, there will be some rules for each and every team. Based on the rules, when the request comes, or whenever the problem arises, so it will get assigned to the team member, so that based on the request, the person can do maybe single task or multitask. So that is anyone can do any job kind of a team. If it is a specific one, like I know only violinist, so I can't do a drumming. So that means I can do only violin work. So irrespective of the music, or irrespective of the singer, irrespective of the album, so I can do the orchestration using violin. Somebody can do it with a guitar or drum. So like that, specific purpose, specific persons for specific purpose. That's how either of these two categories you will be normally fitting in. And to fit either here or there, your personality test, definitely the disc, for example, we discussed earlier, that is going to help you a lot, whether you can fit in directly there or not. So to be part of a team, or to solve a business problem, obviously you need to be expert, or some level of skill set you should have on the basic purpose, and you should also have the required knowledge in that is given. But if you are going to work with machines, for example, you should have the dexterity to handle the machines. Otherwise, your hands will get stuck, or there will be some accidents in that case. Or if you are going to deal with people, the other team member is going to be a human being, for example, like you and me. Then what happens is that there is a lot of communication which is going to happen between the persons, between person A and person B within the team. And the team also has to talk to some other persons in other teams. So your communication, the way you communicate, the way you talk, the way the interpersonal skills you have come into play at the time, and of course your mood and the situation there at the time of that discussion, everything is going to matter. So that's where the behavior, the traits, everything come into place. So all these things will help an organization as well as the individual to get structured. Okay, and always remember that there will be some rule of game for every team. Okay, the rule of game could be these are the set of inputs, and you are expected to perform within this time frame with this kind of quality, and the customer should be happy, for example. Or you have to work and solve the problem in 1 hour or in 2 hours. So there will be a lot of such rules when you are playing in the team or to solve a business problem. It is not that open-ended as you might think. It is not so. So there will be some rules of the game which is going to have an impact, and you have to subject yourself to comply to that game. And always remember that whether you are whatever be the role in your organization or in the team, okay, you are there to solve the problem under the complying to the rule of this game, and that will give you a complete alignment of your outcome, the steps or the as per the rule of the game, whatever the process and steps and expectations are, and your the environment or ambience in which you are going to work. So this is how the team and team's performance is going to impact an organization. Hope when you are joining an organization or you are inside the organization, you try to understand where you are and what you are doing and correlate with what we discussed today, and see that whether you are able to fulfill your needs. Okay, and also assess yourself and assess the need of the business in terms of what the role expects to perform and what you are able to perform, and match that. And once you are able to do that, I hope you can succeed. Not only you succeed, your organization will also succeed. Thank you. Have a nice day. Let's discuss about the other things like processes and a few more examples in an organization in the upcoming videos. Have a nice day. Cheers.